Mozart, classical period. How do you sing that? Today we're going to talk about that approach. I think it's really important for every singer to try Mozart, especially beginners. Why? Why do we usually not really like beginners singing things such as Wagner, well, some of Wagner anyway, Puccini and Verdi? Well, here's the thing. We want accuracy. And we don't want to introduce something like a lot of portamenti, which is like, kind of like sliding and slurring. And, well, we call it portamento because we want to actually train accuracy first. And I think that is very, very front and center in Mozart. Anything classical period and before, there's not too much scooping, no sliding, no slurring. Also, because Mozart kind of is in a setting of not a huge, gigantic orchestra with tons of brass, it is a lighter sound than you would know from a Verdi or Strauss, like Richard Strauss opera. So it is a good sound where a young singer or a beginner singer isn't easily lured into over-singing and just being really heavy and darkening. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So when we look at something like Porgi Amor from Le Nozze di Figaro, this was my first opera I ever sang. However, I did sing Susanna, but I'm using Porgi Amor, and I'm just going to play a little backing track here. You will notice that I'm going to try to be very clean on the onsets. I'm not scooping it up. I'm not sliding between pitches, while making it legato and very, very connected, trying to keep that spin going at all times. Let's only go up to here. So what I'm not doing, I don't even want to hear the slightest hint of pa. We need the cleanest, most direct onsets. That would be the most beautiful. And also qualche. So it's not qua. I'm really paying attention. If you wanted to do it really properly, you would like to have an onset on the pitch that you actually need to start on and not really scoop it up. Meaning that all the voiced consonants need to be resonant and placed exactly where the following vowel will be. Like in the case of this onset, P is not a voiced consonant, so we just use that plosive sound in the porgi to give us a good start. You need to make it strong so it's heard. Diction is very important. That always gets lost in larger spaces. So when you sing in, like an actual opera in a theater or even in a recital hall, those consonants, those plosive and hissing sounds, they easily get lost. So you want to really deliberately be strong, but very accurate, not don't look for the pitch. So those onsets, very, very important. And then also something like qualche ristoro. So we don't want qualche ristoro. We want to be so on point and as clean as you possibly can make it. So al mio, so a is actually a glottal sound, it's like a ah. We don't want to make it no but also not ah. If you make it too harsh glottally, it's going to be really hard to control and it doesn't sound beautiful. It's too aggressive. So kind of supported a slight glottal start I wouldn't even call it an attack, just an onset, slightly to where it sounds like an al mio, like in the language, al mio, but very accurate. See how I'm really moving through all the vowels, which has not anything to do with just Mozart, but generally good Italian diction. Al mio duolo, a miei sospir. So that is the most important thing when it comes to being accurate. Next thing is actually the phrasing. What we want to do is really pay attention to when does it lighten up, which it does a lot in Mozart and classical period music. Let's actually sospir. 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 So in the orchestra, listen, it's doing it. It's not sospir. Don't sit heavily on every pitch. This principle of lightening up, it's the more accented and then it's lighter. It's more accented and it's lighter. It's kind of it's like a dance, like a light dance, like you're floating. And even in Mozart, even when something like the Queen of the Night, it's still not Der helle Rache kocht in eurem Herzen. No. It's, and I'm probably in the wrong key now. It's Der helle Rache kocht in meinem Herzen. Tod und Verzweiflung. So it follows the words. Okay? Short and lighter on that second note. Da dum dum dum. See how the instruments. So the word is tesoro. It's not tesoro. Don't lean on the second part of the word. Tesoro. So in the instruments do exactly that. Ya dum dum dum, ya dum dum dum. That's a hard one here. But again, I'm trying not to slide too much. It would be easier if but we don't want to make it bombastic, okay? It's like, let's call it, we don't want to come in with a big bang here. Generally, you want to always pay attention to phrasing. It's what makes a big difference. Let's actually look at a different example now. Voi che sapete, which is, of course, for a lighter mezzo, but, I can demonstrate. It's not really that heavy. So again, same principles that we just discussed. Voi che sapete che cosa è amor, donne vedete sia l'one cor, donne vedete sia l'one cor. So what you want to do, you don't want to go, it's too heavy. It's just too much. So it's ya-dum dum. So just like the instruments do. And listen to the instruments. They demonstrate basically exactly what it is that you need to do. So the phrasing and the accuracy part are the most important things when it comes to Mozart. And even though, of course, I'm a lighter voice type, but even for those, you look at something like Sarastro, In diesen heiligen Hallen, same thing. It's not in diesen heiligen Hallen. No. In diesen heiligen Hallen. Okay, so it all always follows the same principles, no matter if you are a soubrette, like Susanna, or a bass like Sarastro, or anything in between, or a cherubino, or an Ilia in Idomeneo, which I have sung that role too. It doesn't matter what voice type. These principles that I just mentioned today always apply. And it's really about keeping resonance going, keeping the bright overtones. And yes, that goes for darker voice types too, for lower voice types. Keeping bright overtones and resonance, singing into the mask, keeping that ring, that spin, that silvery sound in there. So keep that in mind, and I would love to hear your Mozart renditions. If you have YouTube channels or anything where you want to share, put it in the comments below. I would love to know. Also, inside of my online singing school, we do frequently share what we do, and I just love hearing when others also do opera. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you in the next one.